If you look back over the last 40 years, as minimum wages increased, people haven't, the end result of net employment hasn't changed. Here's the deal. It's about doing it gradually. We're at $7.25 an hour. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. But it's totally legitimate for small business owners to be concerned about how that changes.
President Biden at last night's town hall indicating he's open to negotiations on the proposed minimum wage increase to $15 an hour that's currently in the Democrats' COVID relief bill. Meanwhile, Republican Senators Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton are working on a separate bill to increase the minimum wage while, quote, ensuring businesses cannot hire illegal immigrants. The proposal also includes a provision for the minimum wage to increase automatically with inflation. Joining us now from the White House, Principal Deputy Press Secretary for President Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. Karine, great to see you.
Good to see you, Mika.
How much room is there for negotiation or for give to Republicans in this massive stimulus bill? And is the minimum wage where it's going to end up?
So as you heard, we just played it, Mika, the president is very committed to increasing the minimum wage. This is why he put it in this legislative package, the American Rescue Plan. And he understands how critical it is, especially for frontline workers right now who are putting their lives on the line, as he just explained. And, they can't afford to put food on their table. They're living in the poverty line, and that should not be acceptable. But he's clear-eyed about this. He understands the process. He understands that there's a parliamentary process and that there's going to be conversations and discussions about this. But he still stands firm in making sure that we increase the minimum wage.
Mike Barnicle.
Karine, last night the President of the United States spoke to people, spoke to the nation, and he mentioned the 100-day mark of his administration that schools will be open. The 100-day mark will be April 21st. Can you tell us on April 21st, and I believe he referenced it in terms of K through 8 schools, are we talking about full-time, fully open schools, in-person attendance in schools on April 21st?
Hey, Mike, let me first say that last night the president took pride. He takes pride and joy to talking and speaking directly to the American people. You saw that. And it wasn't just about Republicans and Democrats. It was all Americans. And he has said that he is a president, not just for people who voted for him, but also for the people who didn't. And that is clear. And he wanted to speak directly and send his message directly to the American people about what they're dealing with right now, the challenges, the economic, talking about how the American Rescue Plan is going to bring economic relief, how the American Rescue Plan is going to hopefully open up the schools as you just laid out. I mean, look, there's $130 billion in this plan for schools, and it's focused on the immediate relief, but also long-term relief like summer school and learning gap. And so it is important to also think about like the PPE and the testing that's going to be needed to make sure that we have a ventilation system that's going to be needed. And so the president was really clear. He said his goal is 5 days a week in 100 days. That is the goal. That is the marker that he has set for himself. So he will do everything that he can, and we will do everything that we can to make that happen. But we got to get this American Rescue Plan passed. And one more thing that needs to happen, we have to confirm the Secretary of Education, which is Secretary Cardona. He has to get confirmed so he can work directly with the schools, the districts across the country to make sure that this happens.
Hey, Karine, it's Jonathan Lemire. Good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning.
We've been talking all morning about the situation in Texas with this terrible winter storm, millions of customers there without power, some really dangerous conditions, and dozens of people have already lost their lives. Can you just sort of detail to us what the federal response is? As much as we're seeing right now the blame game and Republican politicians, the governor in particular, suggesting erroneously the source of the power outages there. What's the federal government doing now? What sort of resources are potentially being deployed? How is the president monitoring the situation?
Yeah, so the president's certainly monitoring the situation, talking to governors. Over the weekend, we heard from Governor Abbott asking for some federal relief help. Liz Sherwood Randall connected with him in his office to make sure that we provided that. And she's been in conversation with other governors that have been in this path of this storm. So we are keeping an eye on this. We are, sending our prayers and to the families out there who are suffering through this time, but we as a government are doing everything that we can to provide federal relief to the folks who are in need.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.